Here's the thing, sis. You love your kids, but deep down, you miss you. Motherhood has taken over your whole identity, and you don't even know who you are when you look yourself in the mirror. Like at one point in time, you used to be that girl. Like you would do your hair, you would do your makeup, you would get dressed up, you would go out on a scene. You was her, you know? But I think somewhere along the way of being a mother, trying to balance being a single mother, trying to balance working, trying to balance paying bills, trying to balance showing up and taking care of your kids, you've lost to you. And I want to speak to that woman today who feels lost. You feel hidden up under all of your responsibilities. You almost feel like you're burdened down because you're carrying so much. Like I remember in the beginning when I first became a mom, I have two sons. My oldest is 6. My life revolved around just my son. It revolved around making bottles. It revolved around changing diapers. Like I didn't know me anymore. People would ask me what I liked and I didn't even know. I didn't know what I liked. I didn't know my style. I didn't have a relationship with myself anymore. I became disconnected. Like every day of my life would look the same, so much so to the point where I cried out to God one day and I asked him, what was the purpose of my life? If my life was just for me to wake up and raise kids and do it all over again and go to work, I told God, I don't want to be alive. I don't want to exist because this is ghetto. I never asked to be a single mom. I would have never imagined myself being a single mom. This is not what I wanted for myself. When they asked me what I wanted to be when I grew up, I didn't say a single mom, but this is just the cards that life had dealt to me because of the decisions that I had made in the past. And this is where I had ended up. But I know how it feels to lose you, to lose yourself in the bottles, to lose yourself in the formula, to lose yourself in the diapers. The way they lose them socks, why do they lose them socks like that, y'all? Anywho, I know what it is to lose myself, right? And I remember one day I was so depressed. I was 20 years old. I was pregnant. I had just had my son and I was 20. I was sleeping on my mom's floor on a real thin piece of, it was like a cardboard. It wasn't even like a mattress. And I was going through a divorce at the time. I had dropped out of college because I was too sick to go to school because of my pregnancy. Like I was sick. Like I was throwing up like all freaking day. It was crazy. I had doctor's appointments once every week. Most people only go like once a month. I had once every week because I was high risk and I had so much going on. And I just remember being miserable. And almost there was a little part of me, I started to hate motherhood before it even had begun. One, because me and the dad wasn't together anymore. And I had never pictured myself being a single mom before my baby even had got here. Why am I pregnant and I'm already a single mom? I didn't even get a fair chance in life. So I was mad. I was mad because I felt like I was robbed of an opportunity to have a family. I was robbed of an opportunity to have a man who really loved me, take care of me while I was pregnant. I was robbed of my son having a relationship with his father early. And I was so angry at myself and angry at life. And I just remember not having anything going on. I couldn't work. I was broke, busted, and disgusted. I was going through divorce, sleeping on my mom's floor. I was stressed out, depressed. I was mad at life. I'm angry. I'm frustrated because nothing's working. Nothing's changing. Every day looks the same. I wake up and I do the same thing. And I just remember crying out to God and I was saying, listen, is this all that life is? Because if it is, you can take me now. Because I don't want to be here, because I don't want my life to look like this. So you have to give me a purpose of life. You have to give me a reason of why I exist that is bigger than just me. Because right now, it's not worth it for me. And then I remember I heard like a still small voice like in my spirit. And I remember God saying to me that your purpose is to help other women find their purpose. Your purpose is to help other women build identity so they can become confident, so that they can live the life that I had predestined for them to live before that they were created. And ever since then, I had started creating videos. I was inconsistent with it. I would make a video, then I would go months without making a video. And every time I try to stop, every time I try to go and do something else, God would pull me back and he would tell me, they need you. They need your voice. They need your story. You're the inspiration. They need to hear how you as a single mom, you got out of your darkness, how you found your purpose, how you found your meaning to life. And I'm like tearing up even like just thinking about it, because I remember just being in such a dark place and it felt like a cloud was over my head. And I just didn't know how I was going to do it. Like, how am I going to, I've never been a mom before. Like, how am I going to take care of a baby? Like, I should be in college. Like, look at all the people who I graduated with. They're going to college, they're getting jobs. And look at me, going through divorce, just having a baby, sleeping on my mom's floor, broke, don't got no job, don't got no transportation. Like, this is not a good feeling. I'm sitting on food stamps and I'm mad at myself. But it was in that place It was in that place that I got to begin to imagine, and I got to begin to partner with God to begin to become who he intended for me to become. So I got to be able to look at myself and say, okay, I want to be a woman that goes into business. I want to be a woman that inspires other women. Like, I don't want to be in this place. I know how it feels to be in this place. So I'm going to go help my sisters get out of this place. I know how it feels to be a single mom. So I'm going to talk to them, because for some reason, us single moms, we are so hated, and I don't know why. But listen, if nobody else is in your corner, if nobody else is rooting for you, just know you can always come to Destiny Hudson, and I'm there for you. And if you're anything like me, sis, and you're saying, yes, that sounds exactly like me, that sounds like the place that I'm in now, I need help, then sis, this is the things that I did to pull myself out. So sis, one of the first things that I did was stop believing that life was over for me. I stopped believing the lies of the enemy, and I stopped believing the lies of everyone around me that wanted me to believe that just because I was a mother, that my life was over, that meant that I couldn't pursue my desires, that I couldn't pursue my dreams, that I couldn't have a life, that I could no longer be joyful, but I always had to just be a servant to my kids. I stopped believing that lie. The second thing that I did was I began to imagine, envision what I wanted me and my kids' life to look like, what schools that I want them to go to, where do I want to live, what do I want to drive, how do I want to dress, how do I want people to perceive me. I started to get a vision for me as a woman. I stopped believing the lies of the enemy. I got a vision of how I wanted to look as a woman. And the third thing that I did, I began to break the vision down into actionable steps that I can take as far as goals, even if it was one little thing every day. So for example, I would start doing my makeup. I would just get up, didn't have nowhere to go, and would just do my makeup. Why? Because I wanted to feel beautiful, and this is what made me feel beautiful. So I would just do little things to get back to myself. I would put the kids to bed, and I would spend 10 to 20 to 30 minutes just pouring into me. Maybe I'm journaling. Maybe I'm praying. Maybe I'm crying out to God. Maybe I'm looking over some goals.
So I would break those goals down into actionable steps. And the last thing that I would do is I would really focus on my relationship with God. Sis, even if it's just 10 minutes of your time, I would want you to break it down into prayer, which is just conversation with God, maybe even a scripture, writing a scripture, and then journaling how that scripture can be applied to your life. It's real simple. Just give God 10 minutes every day, and you would see the things that he would do, how he would begin to speak to you, and how your life will begin to get better. The reason why we're battling with so much sometimes is because we have kicked the creator out of our lives, and we think that we know what's best for us better than he do. So sis, I would challenge you to include prayer and journaling in your time. I know it seems like a very small thing to do, but it can make such a big difference in the long run. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this video up because I don't want it to get too long, but I would appreciate you for tuning in, sis, and stay tuned for the next video.